In this video, I am going to explain how you should answer deployment related questions as a Java developer. Now, there is one important thing you need to understand before we start. As a Java developer, it is not necessary that you have personally handled the complete deployment process. In many of the projects, deployment is mainly handled by the DevOps team, release team, or platform team. So, if you have less experience and you have never actually deployed an application, don't try to create a fake story in the interview. You can clearly say that I was not directly involved in the deployment process. That is completely fine. Similarly, if your team was doing deployments but you were not closely involved in that process, you can say that I was mainly involved from the development side and the actual deployment was handled by our DevOps team. But there is one important point. Even if you are not directly doing the deployment, as a Java developer, you should understand the basic deployment process. You should know what happens after you push your code, how the application gets built, what a CI/CD pipeline does, how a jar or a var file is created, where that artifact goes, and how it reaches dev, QA, UAT, and production, and what developers normally check before and after the deployment. So because interviewers are generally not expecting you to become a DevOps engineer. They just want to understand whether you know how your application actually reaches production. So let's understand the important deployment questions that can be asked to a Java developer and how you can answer them. So the first question we have is, are you involved in the deployment? So this is actually one of first question you may get. Your answer should depends on your real experience. If you were directly involved, you can say, yes, I was involved in the deployment activities from the application side. I used to monitor the pipeline, verify the build, check the deployment status, and perform post-production validation. But if DevOps was handling the actual deployment, you can say that I was not directly responsible for infrastructure level deployment. Our DevOps team was handling that part, but from the development side, I was involved in preparing the application for deployment, monitoring the pipeline, checking logs, validation, and validating the application after the deployment. And if you have never done the deployment, simply say that I have not directly handled deployment yet, but I understand the basic deployment flow followed by Java application. This is a much better answer than pretending that you have worked on something you have not. Now, then another question they can ask, the explain the deployment process in your project. So you can explain it in a simple flow. Once development is completed, first we test our changes locally, then we commit the code and raise the PR, the pull request. The code goes through code review. The team leads or senior members of the team will review your code. Once the pull request is approved, the code is merged into the required branch, and after that the CI/CD pipeline gets triggered. If it is not triggered automatically, we triggered it manually. In our pipeline, the application is built using Maven. For example, mvn clean install or mvn clean package, you can use these commands you can use. So during the build process, unit tests are also executes. Then depending on the project, there can also be code quality and security scans. For example, checkmark security scan or sonar security scan. Once the build is successful, Maven creates the deployable artifacts. For a Spring Boot application, normally this can be a jar file. In some application, it can also be a war file. That artifact can be stored something like JFrog Artifactory or Nexus Artifactory or some other artifactory. So if the application is containerized, the jar is then packaged into a Docker image. The image is pushed into container registry, and after that the application is deployed to the required environment. Usually it first goes to dev environment, then we push that to QA environment, then UAT environment, and finally in the production environment. And after deployment, we verify whether the application is running properly or not. We check logs, we check health endpoints, then we check API, then we check database connectivity, and then required downstream services. That is the overall deployment flow. If you are preparing for Java interviews and want everything in one place, you can also check the complete interview preparation material, interview preparation kit, the interview preparation bundle, coding kit. There are so many things available, so you can check the description, and they covers like Spring Boot, Java, microservices, coding questions, real interview scenarios in very structured way. So you can find that link in the description as well, so you can check it out after this interview. Now let's move to the next question, which can be asked by the interviewer. So they can ask like, what is your responsibility as a Java developer during the deployment? So as a Java developer, I am mainly, you can answer it something like this. So as a Java developer, I was mainly responsible for making sure that my application is deployment ready. Before deployment, I make sure that my code is reviewed, the build is successful, the unit tests are passing, and required configuration changes are available. There are no major dependency or security issue, and the correct version is being deployed. And during the deployment, I normally monitor the pipeline. If something fails because of the application code or configuration and deploy dependencies or build, I investigate that, and after deployment, I verify that the application is started properly and the required functionality is working. So infrastructure related activities may be handled by DevOps team or platform team, but we also monitor those things as well. So, and this is how you can answer these type of questions. Now let's check another question. What do you check before the deployment? So before the deployment, you can say that I normally check few things like, first, the code should be merged and reviewed properly. The build should be successful. Then the unit tests should be passing, and if you have security scans or code quality scans, I also verify that there are no blocking issues. Then I check whether any configuration changes are required or not. For example, database configuration, API URLs, Kafka configuration, and timeout values, environment values, those things we can check. So if there are database changes, I also make sure that the required DB scripts are ready. Basically, before deployment, I want to make sure that the application is ready for the particular environment. Alright, so let's move to the next question, which can be asked, what do you check after the deployment? Now let's try to answer this. So after deployment, the first thing I check is whether the application has started successfully. I check the application logs for startup errors. If Spring Boot actuator is available, I can also check health endpoints. And then I test the important APIs. We normally perform some basic smoke testing. I may also check database connectivity, then downstream service connectivity, then Kafka connectivity if Kafka is used, then application logs, and the functionality related to the new change. So deployment is not finished just because the pipeline is green. There are many things you have to check, and we also need to verify that the application is actually working. Now let me give you another question which can be asked. So the question is, what will you do if the deployment is failed? So if the deployment is failed, first I will identify where it failed. So for example, did it fail during build or unit testing or artifact creation or Docker image creation or application deployment? So or application startup. Then I check the pipeline logs. Suppose Maven build failed. Then I will check compilation errors or unit test failures or dependencies issues. If deployment was successful but the application did not start, then I will check the application logs. It could be because of the incorrect configuration, database connectivity, missing environment variables, invalid credentials, port issues, certificate issues, or downstream service connectivity. So first I identify the exact failure point. Then I fix the issue and redeploy. Alright, so now let's check another question, which is very important by the way. So what if the application works locally but fails in the development? Alright, so this is a very practical interview question. If the application is working locally but failing after the deployment, first I check what is the difference between my local environment and dev. For example, configuration, it can be database URLs, it can be API endpoints, it can be a Java version, environment variables, credentials. So it's based on the error. Whatever error are there, based on that we check those things. It could be network connectivity or Kafka configuration as well, or certain permissions as well. So then I check the application logs and find the exception, and based on that I identify whether it is a code issue, configuration issue, or environment issue. All right, so this is how you can answer this question. This is very important question, guys, remember that. Now coming to the next question, which is what is rollback? This is a very simple question. You should know the answer of this question. So version 1.0 is currently running properly in production. Now we deploy version 1.1, and after deployment we find that the important functionality is broken. So if the issue is critical and cannot be fixed immediately, we can move back to the previous stable version. That is called rollback. The main priority in production is to restore the service quickly. After that, we can investigate the issue, fix it properly, test it, and deploy it, and deploy the new version again. All right. So this is how you can answer this question. Now moving to the next question. How do you manage different configuration for dev, QA, and production environment? Now let's try to answer this. So basically we should not hard code environment specific value inside the application. So normally configuration is externalized. For example, dev may have one database URL, QA may have another, production will have another. And similarly, API endpoints, credentials, Kafka brokers, and other configuration can also be different. So these configuration can be managed using environment variables or Spring profiles or config maps, secrets, vaults, or a centralized configuration system. The main point is our application code should remain the same. Only the configuration should change based on the environment. Now moving to the next question. What exactly happens in the CI/CD pipeline? So this is another question where you don't need to explain every DevOps details. Explain the basic flow. When the code is merged, the pipeline is triggered. The pipeline may check out the code, compile the application, run the unit test cases, run code quality checks, run security scans, create the jar or war files, create the Docker image if required, and push the artifact or image to the repository and deploy the required version to an environment. So different project can have different pipelines, but this is the basic idea. Another question is, do you need to know Docker and Kubernetes as a Java developer? So you don't need to know Docker and Kubernetes at the same level as a DevOps engineer. But if your application is running inside the container, you should at least understand the basic flow. For example, you create the Spring Boot code. Then you build your application using Maven build, using some Maven commands. Then a jar is created. All right, a jar or a war file is created. Then suppose the jar is created. Then you create a Docker image because you are deploying into using the Docker image. So then you can you create the container registry. Then you deploy on the Kubernetes or any pods. Then your application is running. So you should understand what happens to your application. For example, if someone tells you the pod is crashing, you should know that your application is running inside that pod, and you may need to check application logs, configuration, memory issues, health checks, or startup errors. So that level of understanding is very useful as a Java developer. Now I will tell you a most important scenario for the interview. So the interviewer may ask, you completed one feature today. Explain how the feature will reach production. So this is probably one of the best way to explain your deployment knowledge. You can say that first I complete the development and test the changes locally. Then I push my code and raise a pull request, a PR. And after code review and approval, the code is merged. That triggers our CI pipeline. The application is compiled, unit tests are executed, required quality or security checks are performed, then Maven creates the application artifact. Depending on our deployment architecture, either the artifact is deployed directly or a Docker image is created. The application is first deployed to a dev environment. We perform developer testing and basic validation. Then it moves to QA or UAT, where additional testing happens, and after testing and required approval, that particular application version is deployed to production. And after production deployment, we verify the application health, logs, monitoring, and important APIs. If everything working properly, the deployment is considered successful. Now let me give you one more important advice. One mistake I see developers making is trying to add many DevOps terms in their answers. They will say Jenkins, Docker, then Kubernetes, then Helm, AWS, SonarQube, Nexus, Splunk, anything. But when the interviewer asks, okay, what actually happens after you push the code, they cannot explain it. So don't focus on remembering tools names. Focus on understanding the flow, the code, pull request, code review, merge, pipeline, build, testing, artifact creation, and how we do deployment, in which environment we are doing deployment, how validation is happening. So if you understand this flow properly now, even if your project uses a different tool, you can still answer this question. So the main takeaway of this video is very simple. If you have not personally handled deployment, don't claim that you have. Tell the interviewer clearly that what you actually involved was. But at the same time, don't just say that I am a developer, deployment is not my responsibility, so I don't know anything about that. Because once you are working on a real Java application, especially with the Spring Boot and microservices, you should understand how your code moves from your local machine to the production machine. So you should also understand the build, you should understand the pipeline, you should understand the different environments, you should know what developers checks before and after the deployment, and you should know how to troubleshoot basic deployment failures. You don't need to become a DevOps engineer, but you should definitely understand how your Java application reaches production. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Check the description for the material for every course available. Thank you for watching this video.